Hey Leo, this is a general timeless reading, so make sure to use your own discretion and stay open to your own intuitive hits that could come through. Only watch tarot videos when you feel guided to do so. If you feel the roles I'm describing are in reverse, feel free to reverse the roles while listening. And if you'd like a personal reading, book in through my website, link is in the description box. Ooh, okay, this is, You've got a decision to make, and it's in regards to a relationship. It's kind of like you've been presented with an opportunity, or you're about to be presented with an opportunity to change a dynamic that has been long-standing, and it may not be with someone who's been in your life for a long time. Although for a lot of you, I do feel like this person's been around for a fair while. It could just be a dynamic that you enact through multiple relationships over the years. That's what this long element is. You've got gain with the disc, 9 of discs, and take action. That tells me that you're not quite satisfied. You're not quite at the end goal. You haven't reached the finish line in relation to fixing something in a relationship. But you're almost there. Like there's an opportunity where you could actually finally wrap this up for once and for all. But there's also like this energy that comes through, and it's kind of like you've built up a resilience and a sense of justification, which is accurate, I will say. For a lot of you it's accurate. I can't say for all of you, but for a lot of you it is a foundation that you can rely on. Like, I know who I am, I know how I act, I know what I'm trying to do, how I've wronged people, how I've done right by people, how I've been screwed over by people, maybe gaslit or whatever. And it's like they're saying the state of mind you're in when this opportunity presents itself has a major potential to set you back, end the relationship, and for this whole opportunity to go south. This is one of the sort of opportunities that doesn't come along very often. This is something that's like, you feel this sense of like fire within you in relation to this relationship or this dynamic. And it's kind of like when this opportunity presents itself, it sparks this inner fire in you, and it triggers everything that's happened up until that point. Not just between you and this dynamic or this relationship with this person, but just in general. And it's like you're drawing on all this fire and you are ready to throw down and like really stand your ground. But what Spirit's saying is the state of mind you're in when this fire gets, heated up and reignited, you need to be very careful, because the state of mind, the inner fire is good because it's showing that you've grown and you're now able to handle things in a way that you may have backed down from, or maybe just didn't handle properly the first time. And maybe that's not even your fault. It could just be circumstantial, like you weren't able to because the people involved weren't mature enough, you weren't in a good enough place to handle it, so you dealt with it how you dealt with it. It's done, so that's irrelevant. But Spirit's saying there's a potential to rebalance this connection, this relationship, because it is a divine connection, and I feel like you feel that too. Like there's this divine sense of kinship with this person, even if that person at present might not be someone you see any sort of common ground with. It's definitely there. Like your life, maybe life struggles, maybe how you cope, maybe the state you get in, there's something that's very similar. Like you guys are cut from the same cloth when it comes to spirit. You've come down in the same regiment, let's say. Like we all get sent down in different groups, and I feel like you've come down in the same group, and your story plays an important role by being either the stone that sharpens their blade, or they're the stone that sharpens your blade. And I feel like it's a combination. Like you both sharpen each other's spirits in a way. You give each other insight into things that you wouldn't normally have had insight into, but because of all this difference, these like very vast major differences between you two, it seems like you've got nothing in common and can't come to a common ground. in some respects that's the case for how things are right now, but you've grown in a way that I feel like they haven't. So it's kind of like now you're the mature adult, you're the adult in the situation, and they're still operating from a childlike perspective. So when their fire gets triggered, they're in the child state. They're just as ignorant, just as hurt, just as incapable as they were when they were a child. Even though that's not really the case now, but in their nervous system, in their energy, that is exactly what's going on. But for you, it's kind of like you've got that going on as well. Like you're not above that. You've got that going on, but it's not. It's like you've tamed that lion. You've tamed that fire, and you've been able to work with it, which has made you wiser, stronger, and more capable. Which is why Spirit's now presenting you with this new opportunity, because you have to be the adult in this situation. And I'm a Leo sun. I get it. Like I'm actually just looking at this going, yeah, no, I know what this is for me. And there has been an opportunity presented, and it is actually like it's a doorway for change. And I can either let my fire overtake me and become very emotional and just go in this blind and charge at this and be reckless, which is what Spirit's saying be careful of. Because what underpins this dynamic, you could draw on all the things that didn't work and be reckless and just lay down and be like, wait, this is exactly what the hell is going on, and this is exactly this is how it bloody well is, okay? Or you could say like, hey, look, this is how I've been feeling, this is the conclusions I've come to, I care about you and I'd love for us to work on this, yeah, but here are my musts, here are my boundaries. How, like, let's try and work through this, and maybe even talk about why you've got those boundaries, because maybe they don't understand it. They may be aware of it, but they don't know why. And maybe this is the opportunity for you guys to finally just clear the air on some stuff and really get to the nitty gritty of what's going on between you two, and what's causing you guys to stagnate in this connection, because it is a divine connection. I see that like yin and yang. Your lives look like yin and yang is what I'm getting for a lot of you. If your life looks like, wow, like it's similar in a lot of ways, but there's big differences, but it's like our lives are complementary. Like if I just listen to you a bit more, I'd probably be better off for it. If you listen to me a bit more, you'd be better off for it. It's that kind of energy, but you both got to come to the table. And I get that for a lot of you, this other person isn't quite there. Like they want to be there, they're willing, but only you have the wisdom to be able to keep you both at that table discussing it so that you can clear the air. And if you let their tantrums or their values, their morals, their philosophies and outlooks on life affect you to the point where you just react and become too triggered that you can't even have this conversation, then you've squandered an opportunity that does not come very often, and you need to really, really accept that. It's not that it won't come again, it's just it won't come often. And depending on what you do will depend on how easy it'll be to come to the table the next time the opportunity does present itself. If you stay true to yourself and be the mature one, stay high vibration, don't react, be very lenient and very be the adult in this situation, because what you're dealing with is someone who's very injured, hasn't got the adult capacity to be able to handle whatever this is. Excuse me if you can hear that, the airplane. They don't have all the wisdom that you've gained, and I get that your struggles have, in your mind, whether this is real or not, I'm only reading for you, but I get that you have struggled in ways that make you the capable one. So you have struggled in some deeper ways than they have in certain areas of your life, and that has enabled you this wisdom to be able to do this, and that's why Spirit's presenting you with the opportunity. And if you're watching this around the time I've made this, there's a Mercury retrograde coming up, and even if you're watching this as a timeless reading, look up when the next Mercury retrograde is. You may be coming into one or in the thick of it right now, and if that's the case, this is definitely for you. I feel like you've already seen this opportunity for a lot of you, but for some of you, it's coming up. It's coming up, and just look at it, be like, okay, someone I don't get along with, someone I haven't clicked with, we clash, different views, I love them, but we keep having falling outs, or like whatever it is. The soul tribe version of that, whoever that is for you, the person that came down in the same group for their incarnation, that person will come forward. You'll know it when you see it. The opportunity will come, and I feel like they'll probably reach out to you, or something will happen and you'll be in a position where you get to talk to them in a way that you probably wouldn't have if special circumstances weren't enacted in the situation. If you can stay true to all of this and not be reckless, because there is a resurrection here, you see that? There's a resurrection for this relationship, and you are divinely connected, whether you resurrect this or not. But the opportunity for growth that you both have together is far, far greater than anything if you were apart. I do have to say that. For some of you, this other person may not be someone you need to keep around. It could just be this last little thing where you kindly and wisely try and be there for them, and not with this air of superiority. Like, you should come to the table with all the love in your heart you have for this person, and then try and sort it out. If you can't, and you recognize there's things that I just can't, well then maybe just that loving approach was all they needed to see for that point. But for a lot of you, I do see this actually does fix things, or at least creates a foundation that you can start rebuilding this relationship in a way that really benefits you both when it comes to your soul's progression. So like, if you both pass away and you didn't take this opportunity, you both will still grow and you'll still be really connected on the other side, and you probably have a good old laugh about the fact that the human vessels you were in took on roles and identities that kept you apart. But if you come together, you'll learn this high vibrational virtue of peace and self-control in order to apply the wisdom you've gained, and that will progress your spirit. It leaps and bounds in ways that you just couldn't without these opportunities. But I get that there is going to be this intense communication with a lot of things that can be said, and you may want to say a lot of things things that have been left unsaid for quite a while. But there's a warning to that. Danger around the moon, circle around the moon. There's a warning to that. There's something you need to be aware of, which is your inner fire, your state of mind, the divine connection, all this. It's a very important connection for you to really consider working on. Spirit's telling me that for some of you, it's not a connection you'll want to keep, but for most of you, it is a connection that you can keep if you can change it for the better, and you're capable of doing that by using all this inner wisdom you've got. But be careful, because once you actually sit down at that table, metaphorical or literal, to have this conversation with them, there's going to be a lot that comes up. So maybe if you could do it in text form, you could just keep rewriting it until it softens the blow. Maybe there's things you want to say, but don't say them in an accusational way. Maybe you say it in a loving way and be like, I love you, and this is why I'm saying it, because it hurts me when you say this or do that. Or when this happened between us, it really upset me, and my life just went kind of sour after that, and then you can open up with each other. But you've got this wisdom that they don't have, and you need to be aware of that, because it's going to you'll see them pushing back in immature ways, or you'll see them just digging their heels in, maybe not even pushing back, but just digging their heels in. Stay high vibration, because if you can do this and you walk away from this discussion and you didn't lose your cool, even if this person isn't someone you're supposed to have in your life, that example of what you just did, you displayed a level of maturity that they've never seen in you, because you weren't able to muster that the last time. Or in the other circumstances, the other discussions or arguments, but this time you did. And they're going to be like, wow, maybe they are a bit more mature than me. Maybe, or at least emotionally mature, maybe they're a bit wiser. Maybe I could kind of look to them for advice, and maybe that's the avenue that's about to be opened up. Maybe you help them in a way that you couldn't if you react poorly in this situation and you go your separate ways. Then they're not going to have the divine virtues that you've cultivated and now embody. Which is why Spirit's giving you this very, very rare opportunity. So when it comes up, just remember what you need to do to make sure this goes smoothly. And for better or for worse, you'll walk away much higher vibration than you walked into this. And your spiritual gifts will open up, things you want to manifest will start manifesting. Because really the things that we want to manifest in, all the good things we want in our life, they usually don't open up until we get these virtues down, and Spirit will just keep slamming us with these with these opportunities to grow. And if we don't grow, they'll just find new opportunities to make us grow until we grow for our own benefit. But it can be a bit dysregulating and dissociated at times. But then we heal, we grow, we learn, and then the opportunities get represented to us, and you're being represented with an opportunity. I mean, for some of you it could be the first time you've dealt with this issue with this person, but most, I'd say like 99% of you, 95 to 99% of you, this is a long-standing relationship. Maybe a sibling, family member, childhood friend, high school friend, college friend, work friend, uni friend, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, this is a rare opportunity, Leo. Don't squander it. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. If you want more insight, by all means book in for a personal reading. If not, I'll see you in the next one. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Blessed be.